I want to emphasize that our constitution gives federalism for our national integration. Federalism is nothing but a form of government at the center and state, two governmental setup. What for? This is for our national integration. This is for our national unity. We are not against unity, but we are against unitary. Now we are running government at the center as a unitary government, not as a federal government. But our government, our constitution provides two set of governmental mechanism. A union government at the center, state government at peripheries. These are the two government mechanisms in our country. So we are talking about, mainly we have to discuss, we are implementing the federal system in our country or not. That is very important. Our government at the center is really following the constitution or not. That is main question. We are protecting federalism in our country, whether we are implementing or not. That is very important question. So federal front is entirely different from political parties alliance. Regional parties or national parties, third front or alternative front. That is not very important now. That is not important. Our Professor Srinivasan says, third front always danger to their party. So only two parties, bipolar politics is needed for our country. That is his opinion. Usually, pure democratic leaders or parties or individuals will admit pluralism, multiple party system, multiple alliances. That is very important. Autocratics only not allowing third front or multiple system. Only they will make unitary government, one nation, one party, one rule, one culture, like that. We are not against one India, but BJP has an agenda, that hidden agenda. The BJP has a hidden agenda to make one nation on the basis of Hindu Rashtra, on the basis of religious culture. One nation, what for? One culture. One nation, what for? One religion. One nation, what for? One language. So they have a great conspiracy behind their agenda. That's what we are criticizing their agenda. One India is not our problem. We are not against one India. We are for one India on the basis of the constitution, on the basis of the federal structure, on the basis of the federalism. The written constitution is the supremacy in federal system. Two set of governmental system must be followed in federal structure. Union government has no territory, but state government has territory. You can say union territory. Pondicherry is a union territory. Delhi is union territory. Tamilnadu is not a union territory. So union has no separate territory, own territory. It is made by constitution only. It's not based on agreement in between state governments. It is made by the constitution, but this must be protected for our national integration, for protection of our country. That is very important. So we must discuss about the federalism and federal structure on the basis of constitution. But at the center, whichever government, BJP or Congress, they must follow the constitution to protect our nation on the basis of the constitution, to protect the federalism. That is very important. They are not treating local governments or state governments as equal. They are centralizing all powers at the center. For what? To save the country, to protect our country. Otherwise it will break up in the future. Why do you bother about the breaking of nation? Unless you are not implementing the constitution. You are not ready to implement the constitution properly. You are not ready to follow the federalism. You are not ready to protect our federal structure which provided by constitution. That is very important. Pluralism is very important factor for democracy. Not majoritarianism. Not only majoritarianism is the democracy. Pluralism also a factor of democracy. That is very important. So multiple party, multiple religion, multiple culture, multiple language must be protected in our country. Then only we can protect our nation as one India. One India must be needed. We are not against one India. One nation is very dangerous. Because one nation means Hindu Rashtraam on the basis of religion, on the basis of language. Only one language, Hindi. Only one religion, Hindu. Only one culture, Hindu culture. Only one nation, Hindu nation. Only one country, Hindu Rashtraam. That is your agenda. This is against constitution, anti-democracy. That's what we are talking about federal front. This is high time to discuss about the federalism. Decentralization of power is the democracy. Decentralization of power. This is the federalism. Power should be decentralized, not should be at the center. That is very important. So I am not bothering about the political parties alliance. That is a strategy to replace the BJP at the center. That's all. To protect our constitution in future, we need an alternative front on the basis of federal policy. That's all. We include all democratic forces to defeat religious forces, caste-oriented forces. This is a disastrous to the nation. The religious politics, caste-oriented politics, language-oriented politics, this will split the country. This is more danger to our nation. So what? That's what we are trying to make a political alliance in alternative form, not a third front. I don't agree with that term, third front. That is alternative front. Alternative front. It may be Congress also included. Congress also included in this alternative front. If you say third front, you mean BJP, Congress, other than BJP and Congress all are called as third front. We are not for this point. We are including Congress. We have to make alternative front to defeat religious political agenda in future. To protect our nation through protection of constitution, which provide federalism and allow all multiple system in our country, multiple culture in our country, multiple language in our country. It is very important in this time. This is high time to discuss. This is my point.
It seems that third front has already been killed on this stage. One side has gone with NDA, one side has gone with UPA and the Congress leadership, and BCK is ready to whichever front will accommodate regional aspirations and interests. It will support that front. So there is end to third front on this stage at least. But coming back to
I have certain clarifications to make. Simple clarification.
I have come to Mr. Ellen Goman. This is the question actually for you. What happens is that when regional parties take charge and too much decentralization happens, then the focus loses. Means for as a country we need uniform policies on certain issues, but regional interests become conflicting. What may be of interest to Karnataka may not be of interest to Tamilnadu. When the Kaveri water dispute will happen, who will mediate? Or you should take into account the common interests of the country. At the same time, this whole Hindi, for instance, the Hindi not being accepted. I am not talking about the imposition, but the lack of knowledge of Hindi, as you all have discussed also, that it has always been a handicap for a party from say Tamilnadu or Karnataka to take the center stage. For instance, someone from Gujarat could sell a Gujarat model, someone from Bengal can also sell a Bengal model, but it's very difficult to, as he was talking about social justice model. So it's very difficult to sell it across the state, across the country. So don't you think that there is also a need, the talk of one India, I am not talking of religion or other things, but certain uniformity, for instance your ration card, you were talking about, you said about ration card, one ration card will create a problem, but at the same time if you give ration card to